Hello everyone, this is Divyendu. So in this video I'm trying to analyze the fact which industry is best. South Indian film industry, North Indian film industry. So it's been so many years that we have seen that South Indian films are coming to the North Indian market and doing huge business. But what is the origin of that? How South Indian films coming to the North Indian market and how they capture the whole North Indian market? So if you have to understand that, we have to go back to the time of 2014 and 15. At that particular time, Bollywood did not making films which are able to cater the masses. At that particular time, the films of Bollywood are very much towards small town, catering the family audience. They were not making films which are able to cater the masses. They are not making film which are able to create that euphoria in the theaters. And if you have to understand the North Indian market, right, you have to understand the fact that 90% of the North Indian market based on B and C centers, and the audience from B and C centers are only love films which are larger than life. If you see films like Dabang, Bodyguard, Kick, those films collected huge from those BNC centers. But the films which are very much urban centric, very much small town centric, very much multiplex oriented film, they are not able to collect so much business from those market because those audience won't go and see those films. So that is the gap that North Indian filmmakers had created at that particular time, which South Indian films cover. So at that time when North Indian directors were not producing films which can bring that audience to the theater, at that time people from those centers start watching dubbed films on YouTube, on Setmax, thanks to Geo at that particular time. Because of which South Indian films, South Indian actors, directors got so much popularity in North India, basically North India small town. And we have to understand, if you have to break down the concept how a film can be a hit and a flop, you have to understand that the audience from B and C centers can only make a film blockbuster or a average or a flop, because that particular audience only will go and see a film into the theaters multiple times. A multiplex audience won't go and see the films multiple times, right? That audience from B and C centers can create that euphoria while watching the film. So it's very much important to cater that masses, which North Indian filmmakers were not doing at that particular time, 15, 16, 17, 18. That particular time Akshay Kumar were producing films which based on the nationality, over nationality, societal subject, and that those films were getting good response in the box office, and that particular response belongs to the urban centric only. People from BNC centers didn't like those films naturally. So at 2015, first Bahubali came into the market, create history, 480 crore overseas box office collection. Bahubali 2 with a collection of 1000 crore makes it clear that if you have a good content, if you have a good vision, if you can offer that particular euphoria to the masses, you can came into the market and you can destroy the market. After that, the gap which has been created by the North Indian filmmakers by not giving films which can be seen by those masses are been filled by the South Indian filmmakers. Films like Pushpa, if you remember, before Pushpa there were no promotions. Allu Arjun didn't go anywhere to promote the film in North Indian market, but still the film collected hoping 100 crore in the North Indian market, and the film which a huge promotion of 83 got flopped, which is a good film. But if I want to articulate it in that way, that how the gap has been created and the gap has been filled by the South Indian filmmakers by giving films like Pushpa, Triple R, KGF, there is a gap. There is an audience who wants to go to the theater and want to experience that larger than life experience, but they were not getting it right. That is the reason they were watching South Indian dubbed films on YouTube, and when the South Indian stars start coming into the North Indian market, they accepted it with open arms. And right now, any South Indian films which has a good concept, the concept has to be good, but Otherwise, the films won't work. The last Ravi Teja film didn't work because the content was very poor. But if the content is good, with a less promotion, you can hit the ball out of the park, which Pushpa had done. So, which industry is best? I think every industry has their pros and cons. If I particularly talk about North Indian film industry, North India doesn't mean that Hindi only. There is Bengali industry with some regional film industry as well. Great filmmakers like Satyajit Ray came from Bengali film industry, who inspired lot of Hollywood directors as well. Martin Scorsese also got inspired from Satyajit Ray. So no, because Hindi film industry has the language of Hindi and that can be understandable by the whole North Indian market. That is the reason it can do a good business. So in North India also we got films like Three Idiots, Tare Zameen Par, Welcome, lot of films like that, Hera Fairy. In South India we got films like Triple R, KGF, Drishyam, Charlie 777, so many films like that. So both of the industry had their pros and cons, but I really want that Hindi filmmakers or the filmmakers from North Indian industry start to understand the pulse of the masses so that they can make those films. You know, by making a mass film, they somehow make a James Bond film. And to be honest, Indian audience, the audience from BNC centers, won't vibe with those contents. You produce a films like Jawan. Don't produce a films with a very much stylized action which won't be understandable by people. Produce a film which has a action like Vikram Triple R, which is very much rooted. There should be an innovation, but that should be rooted also. You should not base the film America, Australia. In at that time the film start losing its essence. So both of the industry had their pros and cons. South Indian filmmaker basically belongs to the highly technicality field. They know how to make the film technically improved. If I particularly talk about Tamil industry, they are very much technically supervised. If I particularly talk about Telugu industry, the directors from Telugu industry understand the pulse of the masses so that they can produce great mass film. Malayalam, they have the great content. Karnataka as well. So at the conclusion, we can say that North and South both have some great directors, some great films. It just both of the industry needs to do some innovation in their content. Both the industry have some great actors. They should give some chance to the new actors as well, so that they can make their own place and audience can watch some new faces also. So that is the thing. People out there who love both of the industry like me, I love North and South, both of the industry. I love good content, and that is all. If you have any suggestion, you can do it in the comment section. Thank you so much.